morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing great. Welcome to the first session of your financial management. Before I introduce the subject, allow me to very briefly introduce myself. I am your trainer, your mentor for financial management paper. I am Shilpi Jain, ACCA. I qualified my ACCA back in 2009. I had gone to the UK to do my ACCA because back then there were not many provisions like now we have to, sit back in India itself and do your ACCA qualification. So, and ever since then, I have been training various subjects of ACCA. Professionally, I also head the ACCA division at VG Learning Destination. So if you have any concerns, any queries with respect to your ACCA journey, generically as well, apart from obviously subject-related queries, you can always escalate to me. Wonderful. So that was about myself. Very quickly, can I have everyone to, very briefly talk about themselves as well? Please use the chat box facility and let me know your name and whether this is your first paper of your ACCA journey or you have previously appeared for an ACCA paper. That will give me a rough idea in terms of the skill set that I need to build for you for your financial management paper, because someone who has already done a past ACCA paper is kind of familiar with the practice platform on which to practice, is already, has already tasted the rigor of the ACCA exams. But for those of you who are doing it for the first time, obviously not just only need to be trained for the subject, you need to be trained and aligned towards your ACCA, journey as a whole, really. So quickly, please, everyone, use the chat box facility and introduce yourself and let me know if this is your first paper or you've done a previous paper and what background qualification are you coming in from. So 3 things I need from you. Very quickly, guys. Just press on the chat box and pour in the details, please. Throughout the lectures, also, we will be making use of the chat box facility to raise any queries, to raise any concerns, to drop in answers so that it becomes readable for everyone in the class. Hi, Kajal. So is this your first paper? You've cleared FR. Wonderful. Congratulations to you. So you know the kind of rigor that ACCA exams have. Great, great. Shankar says myself, Vinaya, I have completed my CA intern. This is my first ACCA paper. Okay, wonderful. So you must have gained, exemptions in the other papers and now you're on to your skills level journey. Great. That's just great, Vinaya. Manpreet says, I have done graduation in BCom and this is first ACCA paper exam. Wonderful. Okay, that's great. Manpreet, welcome aboard to your ACCA family. Gograj says this is again the first paper. Okay, so I see a lot of you are going to be tasting the rigor of the ACCA exams for the first time. Palak, first paper again. She's done her BCom and CA Inter. Rishabh, first paper. Vani, first paper. Vasu, you've cleared your FR exam. Wonderful. So you have a little bit of idea. Wonderful. So I see that definitely it's a mixed crowd that we have here. And a few of you have done 1 or 2 ACCA papers in past, but for majority, this is the first ACCA paper. Now, you've got 2 things to understand here. Some of you are coming from a BCom background. Some of you are coming from a CA Inter background, having gained exemptions. Now, it's very important for you to understand that what is the quality of the ACCA exams that we are heading into. ACCA is a very, very practical qualification. It makes you job ready. It will groom you. It endeavors to groom you to become and be eligible to be a financial manager in an organization after you have cleared your FM paper. So when you write your exam, you have to show to the examiner that you are actually job ready to take up this position of a finance manager in a top-notch company. So that is the quality which is being expected from you. You're not going to write any rote learning answers. You're not going to write any student level answers. No, this is literally the last paper of your skills journey. And after this, you reach out to the professional papers, right? So very well, you have to show to the examiner that you're ready and you already have possessed the skills to be a professional. So your answers should reflect the quality of a professional, right? Obviously, this is your first lecture only, and this is your first ACCA exam. So I'm not trying to intimidate you here, but what I'm trying to tell you is that from day one itself, you have to put yourself in the shoes of the finance manager. You're not going to think, write, or do anything like a student. You're going to act like a professional from now onwards. One more thing, no pen and paper is going to be used in my class. The exam is going to be a computer-based exam. So not only we have to, align ourselves to the skills that are required or the techniques which are going to be learned. Also, very important is to groom ourselves with respect to the computer-based skills that are going to be required. So everybody needs to open up their laptops or their desktops and do question practice on Excel only. There is going to be no pen and paper which is going to be used. Even though this is a virtual class and I cannot physically see what you guys are doing, if you're being honest to yourself, your results will also show. If you think that, okay, I cannot obviously see whether you are writing the answer in the pen and paper and then submitting in the chat box, so I can easily fool, ma'am. Believe you me, I am not the one who's going to get fooled at the end of the day. My effort, everything that I'm saying you is only for your own good. So please listen. Please do your weekly homeworks, which I'm going to give you. Simultaneous question practice is extremely important for your financial management paper. We are not going to wait until the last, until the end of the syllabus and then start with our question practice. No, that is not going to help you because syllabus is going to end 2 weeks before the exam, and 2 weeks are definitely not going to be enough for you to do each and every question practice. What we're going to do is you have to do simultaneous question practice. After every weekend class, I'm going to assign you a homework that must be done before you come for the next class, right? So some ground rules I'm just setting for you on the first day itself so that you know the rigor of the ACCA exams is actually unlike any other exam that you would have given till now. And I'm very sure that the students who have already done a couple of papers of the ACCA exams can vouch for what I am saying. So Vasu and Rajveer, and there was one more, right, who had already done one paper. Kajal. So do you agree with what I'm saying, that the ACCA exams rigor is very, very difficult, is very different from unlike your CA or your BCom exams? See, so the students who have done one paper in the past are agreeing to what I'm saying. So for those of you who will be appearing for the exam for the first time, put your mindset in that journey. Even for qualified CAs, I tell that you have to actually groom yourself to learn the techniques which are there in ACCA. It cannot be same as what you were following in your previous qualifications like BCom or CA, right? Okay. So what we're going to do now is quickly, I'm going to just tell you what is it that you need to purchase. So if you have not already bought your financial management books, so you have to purchase the BPP, which is an approved content provider of ACCA. So BPP, you have to purchase the workbook and the practice and revision kit. You can reach out to the team at VGLD. So Sandeep is your concerned person. 83116 is his contact number. So please purchase your books from VG Learning. They will be provided to you at a good discount as well. But this book is required from the next class itself. So if okay, today and tomorrow probably we'll manage, because obviously you will not be able to, get the books so fast, but we will manage with the ebooks that I will be showing to you on the system itself. But you need physical books as well to read the question, to mark your things, and, just keep on pinpointing anything which is relevant. So please reach out to Sandeep and purchase your BPP workbook and practice and revision kit only. Now, Apart from BPP, there are books from Kaplan as well. Kaplan is also an approved learning partner of ACCA, so the quality is definitely good enough. But either of the two is, what is required for you to be able to clear your financial management paper. And since we are following a BPP module here in the class, it's much, much advisable that you purchase the same book from which we will be practicing in the class as well, right? Any queries so far, guys? Anything anybody wants to ask? Please always feel free to drop in your query in the chat box. I will repeat your query for everyone else to also listen to your query and then answer. And even if that means that you want me to explain a concept, say 5 times, 6 times, I am more than happy to do so. The kind of, the trainer that I am, I do not proceed with a topic till I get 100% surety that everybody in the class is comfortable with the topic, has understood the topic, is able to do question on that particular topic. So that is the pedagogy that we are going to follow in the classes throughout. So please feel free to, stop me, ask me to repeat, ask questions, anything that you want. And we will not go ahead till the time, everyone is comfortable with a particular topic, right? Any questions so far? Any suggestions? I hope what I'm saying to you is making sense to everyone. Anything anybody wants to ask so far, or are we good to introduce the subject now? Quickly, guys, I don't go ahead till the time I get go ahead in the chat box from everyone in the class. Okay, just bear with me, please. Okay, well done. So Rishabh, okay, so go ahead. Wonderful. Thank you so much, guys, for confirming that we are good to go ahead. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at what subject is financial management. Now, each one of us are already a finance manager. So when you're managing your salary, or if you're not employed as yet, if you're managing your pocket money, whatever, your expenses of the house, your expenses of the office, you are already a finance manager. You're looking at your income, what to do with this income, how to handle your expenses, what portion of your income to probably invest in, what portion of your income to save for the future. All of that is what? All of that is exactly what a finance manager does in the organization as well. So the aim of this subject is to very well develop skills and knowledge expected of a finance manager. So you tell me, what do you think, is the job role or the key KRA, key responsibility area, as we call, of a finance manager in the organization? What broadly are the aspects that the finance manager looks at? Tell me. So tell me quickly. Maximize the funds of the shareholders. Yes, absolutely, Shankar. So one of the major job responsibilities of a finance manager would be to maximize the wealth of the shareholders, who are the ultimate owners of the organization. So for that, he needs to think of decisions that needs to be made in the aspects of investments, in the aspects of finance, in the aspects of dividend decisions that needs to be paid, right? And this is exactly what the course curriculum of financial management is also broken into. Broadly, these broad subject areas is what we will be studying together. So for those of you who are coming from the knowledge level, this paper is one level up from your MA paper, that is your management accountancy paper, and is also has got an advanced level paper, which is your advanced financial management paper at the professional level, right? So this is what it is. Now let's quickly have a look at what are the expectations of the examiner from you from this paper. Because if we know what we are expected to do, it becomes obviously easier for us to be able to do it as well. So the ACCA examining team expects you to perform as well as comment. Now, two things very important here. You're not just expected to perform calculations here. You are a finance manager, not just do calculations. You will be expected to make recommendations based on these calculations as well. So yes, you don't have to just stop at calculations. You have to add value to these numbers. What do these numbers interpret to you? On the basis of these numbers, what do you recommend to the director of the company to go ahead and do? So yes, you must be able to do calculations. You must be able to perform critical abilities. You must be able to demonstrate understanding of the syllabus, as well as use question information to be able to decipher what is expected from you. So if you know what what the examiner expects you to do in this FM paper, and this is exactly what you're doing, there is no reason that you will not be able to pass. But just put yourself in the shoes of a finance manager in the organization. Now, since a lot of you are appearing for an ACCA exam for the first time, what I want to show you is quickly few resources which are available from ACCA itself. Just bear with me for a second. So this is the official website of ACCA. And here we have some resources which are given to us directly from ACCA in terms of that what is it that the examiner expects you to do, right? So let's quickly have a look at these resources, please. So go ahead with this, and please, I am just sharing this link with you in your chat box. Obviously, you have to click on them and read this as part of your homework for today, right? Also, I want to show you a quick video. There are going to be objective questions here. So what we do here is look at the aspects of it. Okay, let me just show you how to reach here as well. ACCAglobal.com. Okay, so we go to ACCAglobal.com, which is the official website of ACCA. Go under the Students tab. Go under Study Support Resources here. I'm just showing it to you step by step how to reach this, because this will help you in not just your FM paper, but every paper of ACCA. ACCA qualification. Then we reach on to FM. These are all the resources which are available to you from ACCA towards your FM paper. Now, if I look at this pass percentage, nearly 50% of the people who appear for the FM paper, every quarter on quarter pass the paper, and approximately 50% fail the paper, which means it's a difficult paper in the first place. Also, being your first ACCA paper, you have to be very careful in terms of preparing yourself to be able to be amongst the 50% students who actually pass the paper. So that is something which is extremely important as well, right? So please just take all these things into your mind while you're looking towards the FM paper. Okay. What I'm going to do is very quickly show you a quick introductory video on your financial management paper. This is something which is coming directly from ACCA itself. Okay, let me just turn on the subtitles, go on a full screen.
This exam develops the knowledge and skills expected of a finance manager responsible for the finance function of a business. It covers investment, financing, and dividend policy decisions. Financial management builds on knowledge gained by studying for the management accounting exam and prepares candidates for further study of financial management in advanced financial management syllabus. ACCA recommends studying with an approved learning partner and using study materials from our approved content providers. However you study, ACCA will support your learning journey with a range of free resources. The Examiner's Approach article is a good place to start. We also provide examiner's reports which give constructive and detailed feedback. And there are technical and exam technique articles to further refine your knowledge and skills. To practice and perfect your exam technique, the CBE Practice Platform replicates the real exam experience and allows you to practice up-to-date exam standard questions before marking and reviewing your answers using detailed marking guides and model answers. The Financial Management exam has 3 sections. Section A has 15 objective test questions, each worth 2 marks. Questions may be either narrative or calculative in nature and can come from the whole syllabus, so it's important that you make sure you cover the whole syllabus when preparing for the exam. Section B has 3 questions comprising 5 objective test items worth 2 marks each. These questions are based around a common scenario and come from any area of the syllabus. Section C has 2 questions worth 20 marks each, which have a main focus on syllabus areas C, D and E only, but may also include material from other syllabus areas. Using the resources available from ACCA and your learning partner is the proven route to exam success. So good luck with your financial management exam from everyone at ACCA.
So yes, definitely this is what our FM paper is all about. Now, again, are you literally ready to head into this paper or not? What I want everyone to do is do this self-check module now. This is something which will help you, checklist that are the basic, there's some brought forward knowledge which is required for your FM paper. Do you have that or not? So this will be like a good gate check for you to check that are you literally ready to take on FM as your paper or not. Why I'm more skeptical about this also is the fact that a lot of you are doing your ACCA paper and this is your first ACCA paper as well. So you really will have to check with, with yourself in terms of whether you have the right knowledge to begin with this paper or not. So this is just a quick gate check which I want everyone to please do before you, literally jump yourself onto this paper. Okay, so now that we've done this, what I'm going to quickly do is show you what the exam looks like. So the exam is going to have all compulsory questions. There are going to be no optional questions available to you. Exam is going to be a mix of both. A lot of students misunderstand the financial management paper and feel that this is literally, it's just all about calculations. It's all about numbers. No. FM is going to be 50% theory. So please do not forget or do not, do not ignore the discursive elements of your FM. If you intend to pass, you have to do numbers with theory, supported with theory. A lot of Section C questions are direct theory questions only, which doesn't even actually require any sort of, calculations to be made. So yes, it is very much a computational as well as a discursive paper per se. Some questions will adopt a scenario or a case study based approach. It is a 3-hour long exam that we are heading into. Okay, so brought forward MA knowledge definitely required because a lot of you have not actually given the MA paper. I want you to please go back and check the test module which I have just shared with you. Definitely you need to do clear calculations with logical structures. You should be able to interpret data. You should be able to explain management accounting techniques and discuss their applications to the questions as well as apply skills in a practical manner. So that is something which is definitely required. Now, key syllabus areas. Why I've written D first, C, then E after is on the basis of, you can say, not weightage, but yes, the most important topics in your FM paper. So your investment appraisal, which is your part D of the syllabus, is going to be questioned in section A questions, in section B questions, as well as in section C questions. And thus, I put it right at the top as the most important subject area of your FM. Similarly, working capital management, expect questions on all three parts of the sections. Business finance, yes, definitely expect questions being asked in section A, section B, and section C. Then again, when as you know, we move down to part A and part B, we kind of expect more of section A and section B questions on it, which are your 2-marker questions. Right? So let me very quickly show you the aspects of this section A, section B, and section C. So 3-hour exam broken down into 3 sections, section A, section B, section C. Section A is going to have 15 questions, objective test questions of 2 marks each. So it's a 30-mark section. Section B is going to have 3 questions of 10 marks each, broken down into 5 questions of 2 marks each. So again, you've got 2-marker questions, 5 questions of 2 marks based on 1 scenario, and 3 such questions, which makes it another 30 marks of section B. And your section C are going to be constructed response questions, which are going to be 2 questions of 20 marks each. Expect a lot of theory being asked in this section C along with your calculations part. So yes, definitely this is the structure that you need to keep in mind, and we are going to groom ourselves from today to be able to appear for this paper. Any doubts so far? Anything anybody would like to ask? Please pour in your queries in the chat box, or let me know if we are good to go ahead. Okay, so let's quickly look at good to go, and yes, okay, wonderful. Like I said, the syllabus area is going to be broken down into 3 sections of the exam: section A, section B, and section C. Section A and B questions will be selected from the entire syllabus. So there is no pick and choose that is possible in your financial management paper. Each and every topic is extremely important. Why? Because section A and section B questions can be asked from absolutely any topic in the entire syllabus which is there. Section A will contain multiple choice questions. So how do you handle these multiple choice questions? You have to look at the question, which is obviously the stem. Then there is, out of 4 options given to you, there is obviously 1 correct answer, and there are going to be 3 plausible but incorrect distractors which are going to be given to you. Now, what you have to do is obviously don't get distracted by the distractors and try to reach the key, which is the correct answer, as early as possible. Now, as I say this, one more thing you need to skill yourself with is time management. There are going to be, all ACCA exams are extremely time pressured. So this is, your first ACCA paper as well. So not only you have to learn your technique, not only you have to learn your subject, not only you have to study for your concepts, you have to study towards management of your skills, towards, learning technique to be able to manage your time limit as well. 180 minutes is what you have to attempt 100 marks of your paper, which literally means 1.8 minutes per mark. And when I say 1.8 minutes per mark, this time limit you have to abide to. So for a 2-mark question, you cannot spend more than 3 minutes, literally like 3 minutes, 60 seconds, 3.6 minutes on your section, on your 2-marker question. On a 10-marker question, you cannot spend more than 18 minutes. As soon as your 18 minutes are over, drop dead the question, move on to the next one, please. Why? Because if you've not been able to do it in the 18 minutes, it is just a waste of time for you to spend any more time on this question. Why? Because that overrun on time is going to become very, crucial for you, because you will not be then able to be clear your attempt your 100 marks of the paper. And when you don't do that, when you don't attempt 100 marks of the paper, obviously your probability of passing declines significantly. Why? Because now you need to get a 50 out of the 80 marks that you've literally attempted for, which obviously is a very difficult task to be able to do. Now, again, guys, I'm not trying to intimidate you here. I'm not trying to, threaten you that, oh my God, what is it that you've chosen? No. But what I'm trying to tell you in the first class itself is that discipline is extremely important in your ACCA. Listen to the techniques, follow the techniques. Some very, very basic techniques these are. And once you honestly follow them, you will be able to clear your FM paper. So please, my advice to you in the first lecture itself is just, whatever I'm telling you, follow that. Please do that, right? My only endeavor here is to be able to make you not just only pass the paper, but also become a rank holder, which we have had in the past. So I'm very, you can say, cautious in my teaching so that my students are able to pass their paper. And that is what ultimately my endeavor is going to be right from day one itself. Okay. Section C is obviously going to be asked from anywhere across, but over the years, what we've observed is that syllabus area D, C, and E are the ones which are definitely tested in your section C. Section C is going to have a lot of discursive questions which are going to be asked. It's not going to be only, numbers which are going to be asked. So please focus on your theory as much as you will be focusing on your number crunching. So let's quickly have a look at what will be there. So yes, syllabus area D, C, and E, as I say, candidates will be provided with some formulas. So there are, there is going to be a formula sheet which will be provided to you in your FM exams, which means you need not learn all the formulas that we will be doing in our curriculum. But yes, some of them will still have to be learned by you. So yes, some will be provided and some you still have to learn. And there will also be a table of discount and annuity factors which will be provided to you. Now, in your ACCA exams, you're allowed to carry a scientific calculator. Let me just check if I have one on me right now. I can show it to you. Okay, I don't have it right now with me. But simple Casio scientific calculators which don't have a memory function on them is what you can take to your ACCA exam center. Again, one more thing I want to please request everybody is to please book your exam for FM at the exam center. Even if that means you have to travel out of your city, you have to travel for your exam, please do that. Even though ACCA gives the remote exam option to students, there are many technical complications that students have while appearing for the exam at home. I mean, it might go through, seamlessly, but there are a lot of chances that, the exam got stuck, there were internet issues, the proctor could not see you, thus your exam got cancelled, it did not shoot in the first place. It's too much of a hassle. So as a trainer, it's my personal request to everyone. So, book your FM exam at a nearest center which is available to you. I will not advise any of you to please appear for a remote based exam from home. It just, adds on extra pressure, extra stress on students, which I really don't want my students to undergo. When the facility to go to a center is now open back, so let's just make the use of it. Let's just appear for the exam in the traditional way, go to the nearest exam center and appear for your computer-based exam from there, right? Okay with everyone? Any doubts, guys? Anything anybody would like to ask so far? So I think I've given you quite a lot of heads up in terms of what is it that we need to do. Time allocation is something that we've already spoken about. How to pass ACCA. I mean, this is what we all want, isn't it? That is why we are here. We are sitting, we are studying. We know we are studying on weekends also. But yes, our endeavor is to obviously pass our F9 paper, which is the financial management paper. So yes, understand theory. Very, very important. Be able to apply the formula which is there. Once you're able to interpret the formula, apply the formula. So even if the formula is given to you in the formula sheet, you should know what that stands for, right? So what does VE stand for? What does KE stand for? If you don't know these things, how will you be able to apply the formula? Simple, right? Interpret the requirement of the question very, very carefully. You should be able to read what exactly the examiner wants you to do and then just do it. Practice exam in a timed environment. Now, this is, I think, the most important tip which I can give you for your FM paper or your any other ACCA paper is to do question practice on the CBE practice platform by ACCA. Now, again, let me just show it to you because a lot of you are appearing for the exam for the first time. So this is your ACCA exam tutored student kit. Go to FM or just open up your My ACCA account and there will be a tab for your practice questions, which is CBE practice. Now, what is the CBE computer-based exam practice platform is here. So you can either just launch it from here or directly reach out to your ACCA account. Let me just very quickly show you a quick video on how to access this extremely...
As a sponsor in the beginning.
Yeah, super.
Okay, so sorry. So how to access this extremely important tool which is there by ACCA for your practice.
This video shows you how to access the ACCA practice platform, our free on-demand resource where you can practice exam standard questions using the live exam format, layout and functionality. Before you start, you should ensure you're using a supported browser. The latest 2 versions of Chrome or Safari are what we recommend. You should also make sure you have sufficient internet bandwidth, a minimum of 500 kilobits per second. If you're not sure about this, you could run an internet speed test. The first way you can access the practice platform is via your My ACCA portal. Once you've logged in, simply go to the My Qualifications section and click on the CBE Practice Platform link. This will take you to the dashboard of the practice platform, allowing you to look around and browse the content catalogue. The second way to access the platform is via the Students section of accaglobal.com. Select Study Support Resources, ACCA Qualification, then the exam you're preparing for. Next, select CBE Question Practice. This takes you to a page which gives you guidance on how to get the best out of the practice platform and explains what kind of content you'll find there for your chosen exam. There is also a link allowing you to access the platform. If you're already signed in to My ACCA, this link will take you directly through to the platform dashboard. If not, you'll simply be prompted to enter your My ACCA login details. The first time you access the practice platform, whether via your My ACCA portal or the student section of the ACCA website, you'll need to enter your email address before you're able to log in. You must make sure this is the primary email address you have registered with ACCA. because the system will check back to our records to make sure you're an ACCA student before creating your practice platform account. If you have any issues at this stage, then please contact our Connect team. You will also be prompted to accept the terms and conditions for the platform the first time you access it. The two routes we've described in this video are the best ways of accessing the practice platform, as they only require your My ACCA details. We'd strongly advise against bookmarking the platform URL directly, as this will always require you to remember your primary ACCA email address, which might not be the one you use regularly. Access the ACCA practice platform today to give yourself the best chance of exam success.
Okay, so this is how you would access this extremely important tool of practice, which is your ACCA CBE practice platform. Now, let me just very quickly show you one quick video, because a lot of you are appearing for the ACCA exam for the first time. It's extremely important for me to tell you these basic things as well with respect to your practice platform and what you need to do for your computer-based exam. So as a trainer, I literally have like added responsibility on me, because I have to groom you not just for your FM paper, but also the tech tips and techniques which are required for a generic ACCA exam as well.
In this video, we aim to provide you with all the information you need to get exam day ready, from effective time management to tips on how to organise your answers. Before exam day. There are lots of useful tools to support you during the exam. There's a navigator tool to track your progress and allow you to jump to any question within the exam, the ability to flag questions you want to revisit, and an on-screen timer to help you manage your time. We encourage you to use these and all other resources available to you on the ACCA website. You can learn about any functionality in our CBE guide, whilst exam-specific videos highlight key functionality aspects that will help you in each exam. You can even practice answering questions in the specimen and past CBE exams provided for each subject. Exam day preparation. Once you've entered for the exam, you will need your examination attendance docket. This is downloadable 3 weeks before your first exam, and we'll email you when it's ready. It contains the address of the exam centre and your exam's timetable. Familiarise yourself with the location of your exam centre and the journey to it. Aim to arrive at least 45 minutes before the exam start time, as unlike paper-based exams, you need to go through a check-in process and be allocated a workstation. We use your docket to verify your attendance, so make sure you bring it with you and keep it on your desk for the exam supervisor to collect. If it's your last exam, the supervisor will keep the docket. Otherwise, it will be returned to you for future exams. Your docket also contains important exam regulations and guidelines. Take the time to familiarise yourself with them. You also need to bring a photographic ID to each exam to confirm your identity. Your workstation. Once the invigilator has started the exam, you'll have up to 10 minutes to read through the instructions which outline the functionality and format of the exam. Any queries, put up your hand and the invigilator will come to you. You can start answering questions at any point during these 10 minutes. However, once you've started, you'll have 3 hours and 20 minutes to complete the exam. There's no time to be gained by starting before the end of the 10 minutes, so no need to rush. We encourage you to use the full 10 minutes to read the instructions. You'll be provided with scrap paper to make any rough notes or workings on. However, only answers and workings entered in the answer spaces within your CBE will be submitted for marking. Your exam will automatically end once the time counts down to 0, or if you choose to end the exam early. Even if you do finish the exam early, you will still have to wait in the exam room till the end of the allotted time. Don't forget to look out for the exam rules and regulations that regularly appear in the notice board section of Student Accountant. How to make points and present answers. It seems obvious, but answers must be appropriate to the question in terms of form, length and depth. If a question requires a list or a brief description, then using bullet points or brief points would be suitable. If an explanation is required, then fuller answers should be given. If a question asks for analysis or evaluation, then make sure your points are logical, relevant and coherent, allowing you to gain the additional marks available. Set out your answers so that the marker can clearly see the points being made. We won't penalise you for poor grammar or style, as long as points can be understood. However, by making points succinctly, you'll also earn marks more quickly and efficiently. Within the word processing space, think about presenting narrative answers in a structured way. You could utilise the table feature or insert breaks and headings to break up long paragraphs. Don't use over-elaborate formatting tools. Remember, you're awarded marks on the content of your answer and not the layout. In spreadsheet answers, the markers will be able to see whatever you've entered into a cell, such as a formula or reference. You should also make sure that you include some words in your answers to label the steps in your answer, so the marker can follow through your method. Managing your time. Effective time management is vital. Running out of time means lost marks. It's a good idea to divide the time allowed by the marks available. In the session CBEs, this works out at 1.8 minutes per mark. You should stick to this allocation throughout the exam. So, spend 54 minutes on a 30-mark OT section and 18 minutes on a 10-mark OT case question. Also, try not to rush through the objective test questions. Take time to read them carefully. Don't waste time by spending too long on one question, over-explaining an answer, or correcting a mistake, which means you have to also correct all following on figures. Avoid these issues by only correcting a calculation if it's quick to do so. We use a method or own figure marking policy. This means you only lose marks for the initial error, not the subsequent figures, as long as the marker can follow your workings. Remember, the marker can see everything in a spreadsheet, including any formulae in cells. Only making as many points as there are marks available. If there are only 5 marks available, don't make 10 points. If you are struggling to get to grips with a question, use the flag tool so you can use the navigation screen to return to it later after you've tackled the rest of the questions. As you can see, there's a lot to think about. That's why preparation is essential. For more advice, visit guidance from the examining team in the resource finder on the ACCA website. Plan ahead, get organised, and best of luck in your exams from all of us at ACCA.
Okay, so that was an extremely useful video. Okay, I'm not going to show you more now. We've already had a good look at this video. In fact, it was a very good one. I'm just going to save it on my PPT because what I observe is that a lot of students, I don't know why, but start with FM paper being their first ACCA paper. Okay, so let me just very quickly save the link for this video. Okay, quickly, guys. Just give me a moment. I'm just putting it on the PPT as well so that also you are able to refer back to this video when you are practicing and when you are revising your concept. Now, what I want to show you is how an actual FM exam is going to look like? So let's quickly dive into an actual exam without wasting any time. Obviously, you will not be able to do this exam as of now, but I just want you to have a look at what the exam looks like. So you know that, okay, this is exactly what you are heading into. So this is the practice platform on how it looks. So you just have to click on the relevant paper. There are many official resources which are available to you. And you can then just assign a paper to you. So I'm just going to show you what actual March, June 2021 paper looked like. So once you assign it, it goes on the left-hand side window, which is your self-assigned material. Click on the paper and March, June. Okay, I'm just going to show you the actual exam of how it looked like. So I'm just going to start with the start so that you actually have a look at, like from the first page itself, this is what your exam is going to look like. So this is going to be the introduction slide, which is going to be there. We look at it. Now, these are 4 very important pages of instructions, which I want you to please spare out 5 minutes right now and read through them today itself, because you should be familiar with what you are heading into. So these are all the important functions and functionality which is there for your computer-based exam, which you will be doing. Quickly read through it, guys. Let me know when you've finished reading. I will open up the next page of instructions then. And we will then go through a practical question of how it looks like, what kind of questions you can expect, what is the format that is going to be asked. Quickly read through the instructions, please. This is the same set of instructions which will be appearing on your screen on the actual day of the exam as well. So how you can navigate, how you can use the flag option, how you can click on the next in the previous facility, the previous buttons to click on the next slide or go to the back slide. Then there's a help option which is available. You also have an on-screen calculator which is available to you under both modes, scientific as well as standard. However, I always advise my students to carry physical calculators. Why? Because A, it is allowed, and B, it is much more handy to use a physical calculator rather than, opening up another screen of your calculator on the screen and then doing it. Then the computer-based exam also gives you the facility to use the highlight strike through option. There will be a rough paper in the form of an online scratch pad, which will be available to you. Now, one more reason why I want my students to go to the physical center and appear for the exam is the fact that in the physical exam center, you can, you will be given a physical rough paper to do your workings upon as well. If you're appearing for the exam at home, you only will have the scratch pad facility, which is there on the computer-based, platform itself to do your rough workings. Now, A, it doesn't quickly calculate like an Excel. B, scribbling it on with hand on a physical rough paper is what we are all used to till now. So obviously, if that's allowed, why not make use of it? So again, one more reason why I want everybody to appear for the exam at the center only. Remember, anything that you write in your scratch pad will not be seen by the examiner, will not be marked by the examiner. So it's only like an online rough paper which is there, right? Any doubts till now, guys? I hope you're all able to read through this. Computer-based exam, copy and paste facility is available. Control-C, Control-V works on your exam platform. So it's just a wonderful tool which, makes your life so easy when you're giving an online exam, a computer-based exam. Again, you can make use of the symbols option to insert any symbols that you want to put in your answers, which includes the currency buttons as well. Navigator screen is obviously something that you can navigate across. You can make use of, you can open up multiple screens and then you can close all multiple screens, also making use of the close all tab, and then before you actually end your exam, you have to review your exam, check whether you've answered all the questions or not, and then only you should be ending your exam. Now, these are the set of 4 instructions which will be given to you on the day of the exam as well. So quickly go through them, familiarize yourself with them so that you know what you are heading into. And that's why I want you to read through this today itself on day 1 of your class. So that, mentally we know what is it that we are heading into. Mentally, we've already seen a live actual exam, and we know the kind of, the questions that are going to be tested and how we have to actually, prepare ourselves for the next 3 months for our upcoming FM exam, right? Is that okay with everyone, guys? Any queries, anything you want to ask? Because I'm literally going to show you what an actual FM exam looks like then. Any queries so far? Remember the rules. I don't go ahead till the time I get a go ahead from you. So either drop in a query or give me a go ahead. Is this okay with everyone? Any queries you have? You should have queries actually at this point of time. I'm surprised none of you have any queries. Okay. So this is what the exam looks like. Section A, Section B, Section C, which we know of already. We've done this. Are you ready to begin your exam? Yes, we are ready, even though we will not be doing the actual exam per se. But I want you to look at the kind of the questions which are going to be asked. So 15, Section A is going to have 15 objective test questions, 2 marks each. So just look at the kind of response options which will be available to you. So these are the tools which are available. You can put in symbols, highlight, strike through, use the calculator. Calculator again, you can use it in both the scientific mode or the standard mode, whichever you are more comfortable with. Personal advice, please carry a physical calculator. Okay, so kind of questions that are going to be asked. So you have to choose 2 statements which are true. So out of the 4 options given to you, you have to select which 2 are correct. Okay, let me show you the scratch pad also. So this is like a this is like an online draft paper which is given to you, right? So I'm just like randomly clicking here. Press on next. So again, you could be asked a question where you have to select out of this and select out of this. So out of this, you have to select out of the 4 options given here. You have to choose 1 correct option. Out of the 2 options given here, you have to choose 1 option. I'm just randomly choosing without even like reading the question, because I'm literally not solving the question here, but just looking at the kind of questions which are asked. So again, out of 4 options, I have to select 2. I'm just randomly picking any 2. Again, the objective test questions asks you to pick and choose the right choice. Again, remember, read the question very, very carefully. You have to select 2 answers here. The question is categorically, okay, let me show you if I just only choose 1 and I press next. See, you've literally lost half the opportunity of scoring a mark here, because what you did not read the requirement of the question carefully. Okay, so again, a drop down, choose the correct options. I'm just like randomly choosing options here just to show you the kind of questions, the kind of response options which will be given to you. Again, I have to select 2 options here. So I'm just randomly picking up without reading the question. Again, so out of each of this, I have got a relative correct option to choose out of the options given here. So for every, it's like match the following kind of a thing, right? But in an online, in a computer-based exam format. So this is exactly the kind of questions that are going to be tested. I am just randomly choosing answers here just to show you what it looks like. Please don't judge my knowledge. I'm not reading the questions here. Okay, so again, you could be asked a true, false. So again, a drop down from which you have to choose and select. Okay, again, I have to select two options. So I need to select two options and move on to the next question. Select an option here. Okay, which one do I reckon is the correct option? That is the kind of questions that are going to be asked in section A. Is that okay with everyone? Any doubts in your section A? Type of questions which are going to be asked. Type of MCQs which are going to be asked. Because many students, actually don't understand that how ACCA is going to put up an online computer-based exam. So this is exactly why I'm showing you the exam in the first place. That this is how the exam is going to look like. This is how you have to choose the options. Obviously not the way I've chosen like randomly here, but the kind of response options which will be given to you. Is that okay with everyone? Section A? Any doubts in section A? Come on, ask. Ask if you have any doubts, guys. No, says Pooja. What about others? No, clear, wonderful. Okay, great. So I can then show you and just give you a quick glimpse of what a section B question actually looks like. So now here you will be given a scenario on your left. So you can go up and down on the scenario. Now, based on this scenario on the left, there are going to be 5 questions, 2 marks each, asked to you on the right. So this question remains the same for the next set of 5 questions, right? So the first question out of the first one is this. So I'm just choosing an MCQ. Again, see the question on the left remains the same. The question on the right, based on the scenario on the left, changes here. This is how your questions are going to be based in your sections B. Fourth question relating to the same scenario. 3 options it's asking me to click. Again, the same scenario. I have to put down my answer. Okay. Now, one more thing very, very important. The question is asking me to put down answers to the nearest dollar. What happens? See, if I try to put down decimals, the computer platform itself tells me that, okay, the input that you are putting in is not in the correct format. So it's asking me to put down the figure in the nearest dollar. I should stick to putting down a figure in the nearest dollar itself, right? Now I have a second question here of my section B, followed by 5 questions on the right. I'm just showing you options here. Okay, let me show you how to use the highlight functionality, how to use, so click, strike through. I don't want this question information, I strike through, right? So this is how you can choose the highlight and the strike through facility as well. Again, a question on the left and a scenario on the left and a question on the right. I'm not doing it. I'm just randomly showing it to you. So one more question of your section B is here. I am being asked to select an option. Okay, just some random numbers I'm putting here. Random selection just to show you the kind of questions that can be asked. Again, section B, same question on the left, followed by 5 questions on the scenario based on the left. Is that okay with everyone? Have you all understood the kind of questions that are going to be asked in section B? That is the whole purpose of showing you a real life exam in the first place. Quickly tell me, guys. I want everybody to answer, please. I'm not going to take response from 1 or 2 students and move ahead. Answers quickly, ask doubts or give me a go ahead. Okay. And please show once again for highlight and strike through feature. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Vani says where to solve, question. where to solve the blank. That is where we have to put values in the questions in the scratch pad. Okay, so I'll show you how. Let me go back. Okay, so this is the question. So let me answer Preeti's question first. So Preeti, whatever you want to highlight, just take your cursor there, select, highlight, right? So this has got highlighted. If you reckon some information is given unnecessarily to confuse you, don't want to read it again, highlight, strike through. Is that okay, Preeti? Right. And now scratch pad. Scratch pad is for Control C, highlight, Control C, Control V. So what it has done, it has copy pasted the format. Scratch pad is just like a virtual paper. It will not do calculations automatically. So 78 into, so if I put equals to 23 into 5 into 6, it will not solve it for me. It's just, you know, instead of physically writing down on a paper, I am writing down on a scratch pad. That is the only function of a scratch pad. It's basically for you to be able to build upon your ideas as to how and what all I need to, you know, do to structure my answers. It literally doesn't solve any questions for you yourself. Right, Vani? But what, you know, obviously section C is going to require calculations as well. So what you will be given there is what I will just show you in section C. So just give me a moment for that. In MCQs, where we are choosing two options, will we get marks if out of 2, 1 is correct? No. So it's either going to be a 0 or it's going to be a 2 mark. So you have, if the examiner is asking you to select, you know, 2 options, you have to select both correct, right? Working pad I've shown again. Wonderful. That's a great thing, guys, that you've asked questions, because that means that you're actually listening and applying your mind. Okay, now how is this going to work? How, you know, what is there? So queries only come to people who are literally consciously listening and, you know, trying to understand things. So I'm really glad that you guys have asked questions. Okay, now let me show you what a section C question looks like. Now this is going to be 2 questions of constructed response questions. Obviously, it's a constructed response, which means you will be required to do calculations as well as write down theory answers. Section A and Section B was purely, you know, selecting the right option, MCQ based. So, you know, doing your calculations and putting in the right answer. So now in Section C is where you will be given a response option like a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. So this is exactly how this is going to look like. So I am going to put down my headers. I am going to make my table. I am going to put down my figures and do calculations here. I'm just randomly putting in some figures here. And that will give me, I can use simple Excel formulas here. This multiplied by this, it will do the calculations for me. I need to do, you know, if I need to put this under a bold, I can make use of this simple spreadsheet like Excel-like. It is not Excel. It is an Excel-like sheet which is given to you, which does simple calculations for you, right? Is this okay with everyone? Now, this is where you get your formula sheet. So here on the left, instructions is what we've just read, formula sheet. So all these formulas are also there in your book in the first, you know, in the first section itself. This will give you a list of the formulas that you need not learn for your FM paper. Why? Because like here, this will be given to you in your exam itself. Then you will have also been given your discount tables, your present value tables, as well as your annuity tables. How we will make use of this, I will tell you when we actually come down to the topic, the subject matter which will refer to these tables really. I'm just showing it to you that this is something which is available. right? And then quick questions for help are also given. Please just read them well in advance and don't sit and read these, question help book on the day of your exam. No, open up your practice platforms, read through this as part of your homework today itself. So this is like a good tool which explains all the functionality of the practice platform, feature on feature. So please spare out some time and read through this document today itself, right? Anybody has any query? So again, the system is prompting me that I probably have not read the entire screen, which I obviously have not done. Again, now this question requires me to put down theory. So bingo, what have I been given? I have been given a Word-like document to submit my answer. I can make use of Control-C, Control-V facility here to structure my answer. I can put down my heading, my subpoints. So for my headings, I can bold them, I can underline them, I can italicize them. Something, I can make use of all of these functionality. And that is precisely why I said no pen and paper in the class. What you will be doing is just question practice on your computer. So either you go back to this platform also has a blank workspace facility available to you. So for every question that we will be doing, you can quickly open up that and do question practice there itself. Or you could just open up Microsoft Excel and Word and, do your questions, but definitely no pen and paper, right? Now, again, this is a theory question which is being asked. Like I said, FM is going to be a lot of theory. So like I said, expect a lot of theory questions. So if you want to pass, please do not ignore theoretical aspects in your FM paper, right? Now this requires calculation. So bingo comes in the Excel-like spreadsheet for me to work upon. Okay, I have not viewed the whole of it because I have not solved it. So again, a theory question kicks in. With the theory question comes in your Word-like document. Is that okay with everyone? So again, it prompts me that I probably have not read the entire question. It doesn't know that I'm just showing it to you. Again, a theory question. So my God, just look at the kind of, the extent of theory which is being asked. And that's why I tell my students, if you intend to pass your FM paper, please just, do your theory bits as well. Now, item on item review screen is going to be given to you. So this just shows the questions I've attempted. I've obviously left a lot of incomplete questions in between because we are literally just, doing or having a look at a question and not solving it per se. Now, one thing I want to show you again. Okay, let me go back. So this question is incomplete. I can just click on it. Now, this question I did not know as of now. So I can flag it for review. This particular flag facility I can use here and see what it shows to me when I go to the navigator. It shows that I've literally put up a flag for this question. So which means at the end of my exam, if I still have time, I can go back to this flagged question and then probably, try to do this. But at the beginning, when I'm doing my paper, I'm not going to overrun on the time limit which is given to me. I will just flag a particular question if I don't know it, and I will just proceed with it, right? I hope everybody is okay. So can I go back to the review screen? And once I do this, I am ending my exam here just because I am just showing you what the exam looks like. We've literally not done it per se. But yes, this is how you can make use of this wonderful, wonderful practice platform, which simulates the real life exam of FM ACCA. And if you want to pass your FM paper, you have to do at least, I am saying, 5 mock exams on the practice platform before you even think of going for your actual exam, right? I hope this is okay with everyone. Once I've done it, I can go to the Mark tab. It's a self-marking tool which is available, which will show me what I have done, how I have done in my exam. So this obviously was just a random question that we had done. So I'm just showing you how to self-mark your questions also. So this is showing you your answers versus the correct answers. And you can just click here to see the sample answers as well, which is just here, right? Any queries? Anything anybody would like to ask? Anything you would like to ask? I just went through the entire test paper. Section 3 theory is compulsory to use book language or own language. It's a practical qualification. It's a professional level qualification that you are doing, Rajveer. No book language is expected. That's the beauty of ACCA. It only expects you to write like a professional, not a student who has done rote learning. Some technical, you can say, terminology obviously have to be used. So net present value, you have to call it net present value. You cannot name it XYZ for your own language. But yes, apart from that, explanations, linking to the scenario, everything has to be from your own knowledge. It doesn't have to come from your, your book language, if we say. Right, Rajveer? Believe me, you will really enjoy the ACCA journey because the ACCA exams are so wonderfully practically oriented. It literally, is just testing your knowledge as a professional, really. Okay, let's go back to my slides then. Okay, what I'm going to do is quickly give everyone a quick 15 minutes breather, and then we will start again, right? So quick 15 minutes break for everyone, and then we will start. Okay, I hope everybody is back from break. Let's continue with top ACCA FM exam tips. Now, why am I saying, I'm like telling you what to do in terms of passing your exam in the first class itself is because I want to only condition your mind to work at the right speed in the right direction for the next 3 months so that together you and I are able to clear your FM exam. So that is why I'm just laying down some ground rules, some, top tips and tricks in the first lecture itself. So practice questions from the start, obviously without pen and paper, is something that I've already told to you. You are not going to do any, beautification on your scratch pads because it is not required. You obviously have to study all the topics. There is going to be absolutely no selective study allowed in FM paper. Why? Because the exam is going to be asked from all the aspects, all the syllabus areas, really. One idea, 1 mark is what, the rule of the thumb is. Quality over quantity is what you have to always, have at the back of your mind. Rule of elimination is what works. Answer all the MCQs. No negative marks are going to be allotted to, even if you've got that wrong. So worst case scenario, don't know anything. Please at least, select one option and move on because there's still a 25% probability that you've hit the right button. Definitely own figure rule, which means that even if you've done like one part of the calculation wrong and based on that wrong calculation, you've, gone ahead and done the next 3 parts of the question, only once your, that one figure that you miscalculated is where your marks are going to be deducted. The rest of it, if you've done it correctly, if the examiner is able to read your calculations, understand your process, you will still get the marks for it. Right? And for your theory questions, obviously you have to use headers as well as prepare small paragraphs followed by, explaining your headers really, right? Okay. making use of the CBE functionality. I've literally just already shown it to you, so I'm sure that you now know it. Okay, some section-wise tips here. So quickly read through it, guys. We've already discussed all of it, but I still want you to quickly spare out a minute and read through these top tips section-wise as well, please. Quickly read. Ask if you have any doubts here. Done reading? Any doubts in section A? Quickly read through section B, top tips as well. We've already discussed it, but I want you to spare out a minute to read through them, please. So that, yes, you are absolutely clear with the path that we need to follow for the next 3 months. And section C, obviously. We've already seen the kind of questions that get asked. It's a huge, mix of a narrative as well as calculations. Okay, so the key message here, this message is not from me, but right from the examiner of your FM paper itself to address the requirements. So if the question is asking you to do XYZ, stick to doing XYZ only. Don't make up your own requirement and start answering it. You have to read the requirement very carefully. You have to address the requirement very carefully. Use cell formula correctly. Present the spreadsheets as professionally as they would be presented in the workspace. So this is what I told you in the first go itself, that you are now a finance manager already, hired by a company, and this is exactly how you're supposed to answer your questions. Plan word process responses. You can may definitely make use of your scratchpad to plan your summary, your theory questions as to what will be the layout, what will be the plan, what will be the key areas that you will be touching upon, and then start writing your answers. A list of short bullet points is definitely not a discussion. So if the examiner is asking you to discuss, you need to discuss, right? Okay, technical articles. Let me quickly show you where to grab your hands on these technical articles as well. Okay, again, we go to the study support resources for your FM. And these are the technical articles which are over and above your workbook, which have been written by the examiner on all the subject areas that are there in your FM paper. So, while you sit down, try to relax yourself at night, just try reading through these articles, like, a read through them. You don't have to learn them. You don't have to, summarize them. But yes, read through them. They will help you build upon your commercial acumen to be able to, answer your theory questions and understand your concepts a whole lot better as well. So definitely some of the recommended technical articles are here. Okay, so that was just the introductory phase of your F9 paper, of your financial management paper. Any doubts? We've literally not touched upon the first chapter of your FM paper as yet. I've only just give you, I think 2 hours of the class have gone by. I've only just give you like a heads up into what we are heading into. Any queries, guys? Anything you want me to answer? Anything you want me to change in the way, probably I'm teaching or I'm going ahead with the class? Please feel free to drop it in the chat box. I have enough experience on me not to feel offended. But in fact, I would always appreciate if somebody tells me, okay, this is what probably, will help us understand better. So I'm always up for suggestions. Please, drop in your suggestions in the chat box. Ask if you have any queries. And then after having done that, we will then move on to chapter 1 of your FM paper. Anything anybody wants to say, any thoughts, any feedback, any doubts that you may have? Because then I'll start with my chapter 1. We've had a good heads up in terms of what are we heading into in your FM paper, right? Okay with everyone? I'm waiting for your responses, guys. Please let me know. Exam dates are fixed, or can we select? Exam dates are fixed, Kograj. So you have to reach out to the ACCA website. First week of June is when your FM exam is going to be. It's a fixed stipulated date sheet that you need to follow, right? Any other doubt? Okay, so thank you for the confirmation, guys. Let's proceed with the first chapter then, wherein we're going to talk about the financial management function as a whole. So what is it that, we are studying? What is it that we are looking towards in the next set of our classes? So what is financial management? Obviously managing finances, where the money is coming from and where the money is getting deployed. So what and where you can make the most and the most efficient acquisition of funds, both in the long run and as well as the short run, as well as where you can go ahead and invest this money to make more money for yourself. So investment decisions, acquisition decisions, dividend decisions are the most important decisions that a finance manager undertakes as a KRA really. So the management of activities associated with the efficient acquisition, as well as the use of short as well as the long-term financial resources, is what financial management is all about. The management of the finances of an organization in order to achieve the in the organization, right? So what is it that we're looking in terms of planning? As a finance manager, you need to plan to be able to have sufficient amount of funds as and when they will be needed by the organization. So you have to look at the short-term working capital requirements of the organization. You have to look at the medium-term non-current assets requirement of the organization, as well as the long-term capital in the form of long-term debt that possibly the organization needs. So what money is required at what point of time and how you're going to source that money from is all the aspects of the finance management that the finance manager will be undertaking, right? Just a very basic introduction I'm giving right now. So financial management decisions is going to be financing decisions. So where the money is going to come from, in what form the money is going to come from, investment decisions. So once you've raised that money, where is that going to be invested? In what proposal, in what investment appraisals, in what tentative proposals that you reckon are going to give you the best returns, as well as once these investments have reaped you results, what do you do with these profits? Do you retain them back into your business? Do you invest them in new projects, or do you give them away as dividends to your shareholders? So dividend decisions is also what you have to take as a finance manager, right? Okay till now? Just very basic generic stuff I'm talking about. Okay with everyone? These slides which I've prepared on the basis of your workbook will be given to you, and will be given to you as part of my notes which I have prepared for you, will be uploaded on the LMS of VG Learning, from which you can always go back and do your quick revisions from, right? Okay, so what kind of investment decisions do you reckon a finance manager is required to make? Obviously, some of these investment decisions are going to be internal to the business in terms of, what projects to undertake, when to undertake these projects. Are these good enough in terms of, your marketing as well as your advertising campaigns? Talk about these decisions from an external party point of view as well. What partnerships you can carry, what takeovers or mergers you can possibly do, or possibly a joint venture that you can reckon into, as well as disinvestment decisions are also investment decisions, because what you're doing is that you're pulling out of your invested money from these projects from these businesses, and you don't want to, continue with that particular segment of the business. So disinvestment decisions are also very much investment decisions which you as a finance manager are required to undertake, right? Understood by everyone? Read through the slide very quickly. Give yourself a minute, read through the slide. So what different types of investment decisions are you making as a finance manager? Some internal to the business, some external to the business, as well as disinvestment decisions. Quickly read through it, guys. Okay, I'm sure you all must have heard of the term management accounting. How do you think management accounting is different from financial accounting? So you are managing your financial statements as part of your financial accounting. How is it different from the role of a management accountant? You have to tell me, guys. Quickly. I am not going to give you an answer on this. You are the one who is going to tell me. What are the differences between the key roles undertaken by a finance manager in an organization versus a management accountant in an organization? Quickly. I'm waiting for your reply. So financial accounting, who is it prepared for? Who is the end reader? Who prepares it? Is it mandatory to prepare them? Come on, you must. I'm sure you know of something here.
In this video,
Okay. Management accounting is for internal purpose. Well done, Rishabh. Whereas your financial accounts are prepared for the shareholders of the company. Management accounting is prepared for the management to make to undertake key decisions from an internal perspective in terms of the policies, in terms of whether to go ahead with this project or not. Management accounting is entirely by choice. However, financial accounting is something that organizations mandatorily have to prepare. What else? Okay, let me quickly show you a quick video on this.
Using Powtoon. In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between.
Okay, so this is done. So now I want you to very quickly read through these differences of a financial account versus management accounts. And then we'll discuss each of these points together. But quickly read through it first. Done reading? Shall we discuss them? So yes, what are financial accounts? It's telling us how the organization has performed over a period of time, which has already gone past. Management accounts, on the other hand, could be a projection of the future as well. And this is purely for the management to assess that whether this is a good decision or not, whether, it is something that we should go ahead with or not. Financial accounts definitely required by law. Management accounts, there is no such legal requirement to prepare management accounts. It's purely a discretion which the management can get prepared for their own understanding and decision making. Format financial accounting is obviously a stringent, strict format that needs to be used. So if this is how you prepare your balance sheet, that's the only way you can prepare your balance sheet, right? You cannot go ahead and make your own format of balance sheet. That is something which is obviously you can't do really. However, in management accounting, I can prepare my own formats. I can look at what information I need in what format, what should flow, so I can pick and choose what I want really here. Financial accounting is obviously based on the performance of the business as a whole. However, management accounts, you can prepare a report for, say, one subsection, one business, one city, one state, one team, whatever subsections you are looking out for, to dig out a specific information really. Financial accounting obviously is going to be mostly, you can say, money related. It's going to have a lot of financial numbers in it. However, management accounting can be prepared for some qualitative data as well, apart from just being, a quantifiable financial data really here. Financial accounts are definitely looking at the past, but management accounting can be, based upon historical information, as well as it definitely can be future looking as well. So it could be very well, a planning tool for the management, right? Is this difference clear with everyone? Any doubt you have in this? Any doubt, guys? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so as a finance manager, you obviously are in a very, very important job role to help the organization prepare and formalize its strategies. So now what is this strategy? So the first 2 hours of this class today, I did not start with any topic. Why? Because we were only preparing our strategy for the next 2 months. We were only preparing and heading ourselves and grooming ourselves in terms of what is it that we're going to do for the next 2 months. So we only discussed our strategy for the next 3 months, isn't it? Similarly, as a finance manager, you have to prepare a strategy. A strategy is a course of action to be able to achieve an ultimate objective. So what is our objective here? Our ultimate objective here is to pass our FM paper, right? And that is why I spent 2 hours purely on brainstorming, purely on preparing a strategy, purely on grooming you in terms of what is it that you're required to do over a period of time, that is the next 3 months. What actions are we going to take together to be able to achieve our ultimate objective, which is to pass our FM paper, right? So that is exactly what a strategy is as well. 3 main levels of strategy within the organization would be right at the top, the corporate level strategy, wherein the management right at the top is giving a general direction to the organization in terms of what is it that we endeavor to do as an organization in the long run. Then we move on to our business level strategy in terms of how are we going to tackle each and every business unit or each and every product per se to be able to ultimately achieve our corporate strategy, and we have a look at the operational or functional strategy in terms of how these specific strategies are going to be split in the different departments for the businesses to be able to run the ultimate objectives of operational strategy within the organization, right? So at all different levels, these are, you can say right at the top, middle level, and then the people who are actually doing the work, the functional or the operational level, people who will execute, and that is how your strategy at the top, that is the corporate level strategy, is going to be ultimately met, right? Okay with everyone? So now you tell me what could be the possible organizational objectives that any organization can have. Let's take two organizations in our mind, Reliance and Tata, right? So now think of these two organizations and tell me, what do you reckon are their business objectives? What are their organizational objectives? Tell me quickly. What do you think are the organizational objectives of Reliance Industries? What is it, that they are working towards? Goodwill, yes. What else? Quickly, I mean, this can't take so long. Profit maximization, absolutely, yes. What else? Loyalty, yes. So they want to build for themselves a loyal customer force as well as a workforce. Reputation, market share, yes. Gograj, just do me a favor. Your answers should be written to everyone and not just me. Don't send me a direct message. Send a message which is, applicable and seen by everyone. Quality, reliability, yes. Future growth, large market share, yes, absolutely. What else? Quick customer answers, or you can say customer satisfaction, isn't it? Yes. So these are all the various types of organizational objectives that any organization will have, right? Quickly read through the list as well. I think we've covered all, but quickly read through the list as well on your screen. Good points there by the class. Done? So yes, every organization will have these objectives. These are the objectives for which the organization has been set up. This is what they endeavor to achieve. Apart from this, there would be other objectives in the way this can be achieved. So the first and the far most important objective is obviously shareholders' wealth maximization. So how do I prepare and check whether the organization's objective of shareholders' wealth maximization has been achieved or not? So there are various ways in which we can calculate the shareholders' wealth. First is obviously making use of your balance sheet valuation, that is the statement of financial position. Assets are going to be valued on a going concern basis, which means that the business is going to run till perpetuity, and the parameter is going to be, that is going to be evaluated here is the rise in the retained profits, which will tell us whether the ultimate shareholders' wealth has maximized or not. Or you could also make use of a breakup basis, and that is when, this method is used when the business is literally threatened with liquidation. So, the business really doesn't know whether it will be able to survive the next financial year or not. And when that happens, we need to value the worth of the business to be able to liquidate the business. So, how much we will be able to generate in liquid cash by selling off each and every individual asset, really. That is what the breakup basis tells us about the worth of the organization if it is heading into liquidation. Otherwise, we just calculate our statement of financial position, that is our balance sheet, and value the business as a going concern to calculate the shareholders' wealth maximization, right? Or we could very well make use of the market value method. Now, it simply means I'm going to look at what kind of dividends has the organization paid in the past, what is, the growth aspect. So what will be the next future dividend that the organization will pay, and link it to the price of the shares at the beginning of the period as well as the share price at the end of the period, and calculate my total shareholder return. Quickly have a look at just the formula first. I'll give you a minute to absorb the formula. Okay, so what are we doing under our total shareholder return? We're going to start with taking the share price as at the end of the period, subtract the share price as at the beginning of the period, add our latest dividend paid that we have just paid now, divide that by our share price at the beginning of the period, and find out our total shareholder return. Definitely, you can expect a 2-marker question to be able to calculate this total shareholder return. Read through the formula as of now. We will head on to our books and do question practice to see how practically we can solve this. Okay, financial objective of profit maximization is definitely there. We all know that that parameter is there for profit maximization for private companies. So you are looking at profits. However, is profits like literally, the best way or the best, the best parameter really of judging a business's performance? Obviously not, right? Why do you think profits are not the best measure of a company's performance? This is something that can very well be asked as a theory question. So tell me, guys, why do you think profits, even though, we lay a lot of stress on the kind of profits that the organization has made, we purely can't just only rely on profits to measure whether the organization is, performing well or not? Why? What's wrong with taking profits as a parameter? Tell me. Tell me your thoughts on it. Come on, quickly. You have to tell me. I am not telling you this. You should be able to tell me this. Why profits are not a best measure of a company's performance? Can't you tell profits are they literally telling you the amount of risk that you are taken behind to be able to earn this profit? No, right? And what about, is it in equivalence to investment? What if I'm making a humongous investment and then making, a minuscule profit? It obviously is not worth it then, right? So profits are definitely a short-term performance indicator for any organization. So we cannot just only rely upon profits as not. Methods of calculation of depreciation and provision can change profits. Yes, so easily it can be altered. What else? Quickly read through the slide. Done it? Have you read it? Again, another financial objective of the organization should be to maximize your earning per share. So the criteria should not be just profits, but the criteria should be to maximize your earning per share. How do you calculate your earning per share? Profit after tax minus your preference dividends divided by the number of your ordinary shares that are in issue, and that is how you calculate your earning per share, that which simply means the amount of net profit which will be attributable to whatever X amount of money needs to be paid out to all other creditors of the business, right? Why? Because ordinary shareholders are who? Ordinary shareholders are the real owners of the company. They are the ones who are taking the highest amount of risk. Why? Because they are the ones who will be paid at last in terms of if there is a liquidation situation in the organization, right? However, is there any drawbacks of the earning per share method? Yes, there is. Why? Because it's again based on data which is historic in nature. It is again not something which is future looking. And because it is again based on profits, the same set of profits which were prone to manipulation will ultimately impact and bring in manipulation to your earning per share data as well. Right? Okay with everyone? I'm going to open up your workbook after this to show you and make you do requisite questions on these. But first, let's have a look at some other financial targets which organizations may have. That could be to restrict your gearing level. Gearing level is what? Debt upon equity ratios. That could be to, earn a certain amount of profits or give away a certain amount of profits as dividends. Your target could be to, achieve certain level of return on capital employment. So these are all some of the factors or the targets which you may have as an organization to be able to calculate your performance as an organization, right? Again, this is something which is brought forward knowledge. Please let me know if there's anybody in the class who is not familiar with being able to calculate basic ratios. Is there anybody in the class who doesn't know how to calculate basic ratios? You guys have all come in from a certain, pre-existing qualification based upon which you got your exemptions in your ACCA. And that pre-existing knowledge is what your brought forward knowledge should actually cover. So is everybody familiar with, confident with how to calculate basic ratios? Because this is brought forward knowledge in your FM paper. And I will not be teaching you how to calculate these ratios, but application of these ratios is what we will be doing here in your FM paper. So just in case there's anybody in the class who doesn't know or is not too confident, it's a good time to go back and brush upon your basic ratios, right? Guys, I'm asking if is everybody okay with basic ratios? If there's anybody, please reach out to me. I'll give you certain tools with which you can practice your, your basic ratio analysis. Okay. Apart from financial objectives, an organization is purely not just only looking at profit maximization or earnings maximization. The organizations will also and should also have certain non-financial objectives, that they should be working towards. Name a few non-financial objectives. So consider an organization like Tata, for example. What do you reckon, the organization stands for or works towards, or, are the non-financial objectives of the organization? Quickly, pour in your answers. I'm waiting for your reply. Okay, answers pouring in. So let's see. Environmental protection, donation, corporate social responsibility, social welfare, high morale of employees, your green environment, funding of NGOs for our society welfare. Absolutely. So these are some of the non-financial objectives which are equally important for an organization to work towards the welfare of its employees, its management. So not just focus on shareholders and shareholders' wealth, but focus on the whole group of stakeholders that are associated with the organization. So your customers, your suppliers, your workforce, your management, your society as a whole, your environment as a whole, your country. What is it that, you are taking in terms of the sustainability issues that we are facing towards? All of that aspects are also the objectives that an organization has to actively work towards, right? Okay, so like I said, a quick revision of your ratio analysis. I want everybody to quickly read through these ratios. If there's anyone who is looking at these ratios for the first time, really needs to go back and revise your basic. I mean, this is something that, you must have done in basic, your class 12th also, apart from your BCom and your CA Inter. I'm sure you must have already done that, but still I'm giving you an opportunity to quickly revise these ratios. Quickly, guys, have a look at it. Red. Let me show you a few more ratios. Just a quick brush up. Done reading, guys? I hope you're all familiar with these ratios. Is there anybody who wants me to explain any of these ratios? I'll be more than happy to do so. Please let me know. Anybody? Okay, so we then have a look at not-for-profit organizations. Now, we all know that the private sector is working towards shareholder wealth maximization. The objective is to make money for the organization's shareholders, is to maximize their wealth. However, we do have organizations whose objective is not just to make profits, whose objective is a social welfare, is a social cause. So now, what do we do with these organizations? How do we, how do we judge whether this not-profit organization like a trust or a society, an NGO, have they been able to achieve the objective or not? And in the first place, what possible objectives do you reckon these not-for-profit organizations will have? Obviously, the objectives will be like maximization of usage, maximization, client satisfaction, social benefits. So maximum use of the maximum number of people is going to be the objective of a not-for-profit organization. So let's quickly have a look at a quick video on this first before I actually introduce this to everyone. Okay, so the reason I'm showing these quick videos to everyone is that definitely as a student, whenever we see anything, it remains in our mind visually much more than when we are just only listening. So that is why I have selected these few good short videos. I'm not going to go with any detailing of these videos. The only thing that I really like to show my students is quick animated videos, short videos, maximum like 5 to 6 minute videos, but something that will explain what we are talking about. So let's quickly have a look at this video from ACCA itself, telling about what a not-for-profit organization is and why these not-for-profit organizations will have non-financial key performance indicators, right? So KPI is a key performance indicator.
100,000 rooms. Simple.
Go back, select the video, give it to you in the chat box also. I think the one that I had selected is no more available now. So I'm just going to remove this one and put up a new one here. And let's quickly have a look at it first. So not-for-profit, and obviously the target, or you can say the agenda here is not just financial parameters. So they are going to be evaluated in terms of their not-for-profit, or you can say non-financial key performance indicators also.
Here's a question for you. How is Airbnb, which has no physical assets whatsoever, valued at billions more than Hilton, the world's largest hotel group with over 800,000 rooms? Simple. Non-financial KPIs. KPIs, or key performance indicators to spell it out, are a way of measuring an organisation's success. As accountants, you're used to monitoring financial KPIs, so why would you add in non-financial KPIs? The reality is, you can no longer determine the market value of a business just by looking at its finances. Non-financial assets have become much more important. Intangibles now make up over 80% of the total market value of the largest 500 US companies. And to measure intangibles, you need to use non-financial KPIs. Back to Airbnb. They use customer experience KPIs because they believe that customer experience lies behind their market valuation. The company simply asks its customers how likely they'd be to recommend Airbnb to a friend. They can use the customer experience KPI to monitor their success. A good customer experience leads to customer retention, which increases revenue and, crucially, the market value of the business. You can use non-financial KPIs to gain a more rounded picture of how your company makes money. You just need to decide which ones are the drivers of value. It could be customer satisfaction, like Airbnb, or something else. Product quality, supply chain efficiency, or service delivery. So here are our top 3 non-financial KPIs to get you started. 1. Customer satisfaction. Happy customers drive sales, business growth, and profits. 2. Process efficiency. Reduce the time it takes to complete a process and you cut operating costs. 3. Employee turnover. A low employee turnover means better retention of talent. So good luck. Non-financial KPIs can help you track your key business drivers. Who knows? Maybe one day your company could be worth billions.
Okay, so yes, we understand that as an enterprise, as an accountant, we are not just going to be focusing upon financial objectives of an organization. And definitely, if you are a not-for-profit organization, your objective is definitely not to earn profits in the first place. So how is it that you're going to judge the performance of the organization? Will be based on non-financial KPIs. Now, I'm not going to show you any of these because these are just 2 basic level videos. So what I will do instead is see if I can find another animation, which is what I really like. Okay. Basic class 10, 12 videos are showing up. So I really don't want to be showing any of these. Okay, but then you all know what a non-profit organization really is, right? I hope nobody really needs any further clarity on this, because here the objective itself is not to make profits. The whole purpose of having a not-for-profit organization is to work for a cause. This cause could be a social benefit. This cause could be, working towards or providing a service to the maximum number of greater good of maximum number of people. And it could be just usage maximization, really, right? So how is it that you would then evaluate whether a not-for-profit organization has been able to, achieve its objectives or not? How do you measure the performance of a not-for-profit organization? So there are 3 criteria that we will be following based upon the concept of value for money. So the not-for-profit organizations work for creating value for money. Value for money is going to be evaluated on 3 E's criteria. Economy. Economy simply means making the output at the least cost input possible. Efficiency, which simply means maximizing the output that we have in the objective for which it stands for. So 3 E's you have to remember whenever you're talking about the performance measurement of your not-for-profit organizations. The criteria is called value for money, and the three criteria on the value for money are economy, efficiency, effectiveness, right? Okay with everyone? I will take up a question on this as well. What I'm going to do is quickly, I think, instead of going ahead, let me stop sharing my screen and open up your book so that we can do the requisite questions that for what we have covered the questions for already, right? So just give me a minute. Let me stop sharing my screen and open up the workbook for you guys. Just give me a moment, guys. Let me quickly open up my workbook. So let me just put in my username and password, and then I'll click on to share screen again. So reach out to Sandeep to purchase your set of books, please. So when you actually purchase a physical book, with that comes this ebook, which is free. Let me just share the screen again, since I've opened up my book. Okay, so this is the other subject which I teach, which is financial management. But for now, we'll be concentrating on your financial management paper and not SBL, which is at the professional level. Okay, I hope everybody is able to see my screen. Just waiting for the book to download. Yeah, so this is my workbook. I also have this physical workbook with me. I hope everybody is able to see. Let me just check. So this is the physical, okay, the light is a little blur, but this is the BPP physical workbook, which you all need to purchase. With this is a combo book. So there are two sets of books that we are purchasing. This is the practice and revision kit. Not sure whether you're able to see or not because of the blurring light. But this is the two sets of books that you need to purchase. And reach out to the team at VGLD on the number that I've just shared with you. Okay. So we are here on the first chapter, that is the financial management function. Okay. So what we're going to do is quickly, we've got a total 15 chapters to do in this book. So we are on the first one as of now. What I'm going to do is just quickly open up the workbook and then we'll have a look at some of the questions that we have covered the requisite topics for in the class right now. So these are the broad syllabus areas that I've already told you, main capabilities that will be there. So when you reach out, when you actually have these physical books on you, just read the first few pages of the book by yourself. So this is exactly what we are covering right now, which is chapter 1. Okay, so quick introduction on the exam, which we've already discussed. So all of this aspect we've already discussed. But I want you to read the first few pages of your workbook just to, groom to your skills for your FM paper. Okay, let me just quickly hop onto the first chapter and the requisite questions of it, because the first part we've already discussed. Okay, so ebooks are a little slow in responding, but I'm happy to share the screen with you. But I want everybody to please go ahead and buy your books. It's impossible for you to study for the subject without the physical book for it. So this is the subject, this is the topic that we've started off today with. And this is the chapter overview. So this is exactly what we are heading into. So these quick chapter overviews are good summaries as well for you to quickly revise on, a day before your exam. Okay, so quickly, I want you to all give me the answer for activity 1, which is there. Quickly. Now remember, read the question very, very carefully. It's asking you which of the following is the least likely explanation for the fall in the share price. So which out of the 4 options given to you is the least likely explanation what you have to choose? Quickly read everyone and pour in your answer. Guys, I'm waiting for your answer. You have to quickly tell me which of the following is the least likely explanation for the fall in share price. I want everybody to answer. Okay, so B company has just released its financial results for the year and its profits before tax increased by 38% over the previous year. This was due largely. However, the share price in B company fell by almost 20% immediately after the profit announcement. So why do you reckon this must have happened? Least likely explanation out of, of this share price. Least likely. Remember, you have to choose the least likely one, not the most likely one. So least likely would obviously be that the sales in Southeast Asia had been expected to increase even more than 100%. So that is why it is falling. So that actually doesn't make any sense, right? So that is why this is the least likely explanation of the fall in share price. Everybody agrees with A? A, yes, wonderful. So I see a lot of you had selected the correct option. Wonderful, guys. Okay, so then let's quickly do a question on the total shareholder return also. The formula is there on your screen just in case you don't remember it as of now. But I want you to make use of the information given to you and quickly tell me the total shareholder return. Quickly calculate, guys. Okay, answers pouring in. So I can start then. 24% says Shankar. What about others? I need everybody to please calculate this. Guys, I'm telling you from the first day itself, if you get into the habit of doing simultaneous question practice, that is the best way of passing your FM paper. So please don't wait for me to solve it. You have to try to do this first. Right or wrong answer, I'm not worried about right now because we're only learning, right? So do whatever makes sense to you, do the question. Manpreet says 24%. The formula is also on your screens. It's a simple question, so you should all be able to do this. Change in share price is what? The share price as at the end of the period minus the share price at the beginning of the period plus your latest dividend which has been paid divided by the share price at the start of the period. So quickly make use of this. Done? Others, why everybody is not answering? So a shareholder purchased 1,000 shares on January 2001 at a market price of 2.5. So this is obviously the price at the start of the period, which is P0. On 31st of December 2011, the share prices had a market value of 2.82 per share. So that's P1. The dividend paid during the P1 was 0.28 per share. So that's dividend also given to you. I think everything required to be able to or total shareholder return is already given to you. So we have an L. Okay, so this is my FM workbook for June 23 exam. Let me just label it here. And then we start it. So like I'm opening up my Excel, I want everybody to please open up their Excel and do the question practice. No pen and paper, please. So P1, P0, dividend is what I require to be able to solve my total shareholder return. Okay. So which is equals to P1 minus P0 plus my dividend divided by P0. Right? So can we do this? What is P1? P1 is the latest dividend. Market value of 2.82 and 2.50 was at the start. So 2.8 to 2.50 and latest dividend paid is equals to 0.28. Is that okay with everyone? I hope everybody is able to calculate this simple calculation. No, nothing really is, too much to ask for in this question, which makes it equals to 24%. Is that okay with everyone? Guys, I need your confirmation. I need your doubts. I need you to respond to me. Is this okay? Then happy to explain anything which is, you're not able to do. Or give me a go ahead. Rajvi says yes. What about others? Manpreet and Shankar got that right. So that's great, guys. What about others? Answer, guys. Yes, Vasu says yes. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I think you guys are tired or what already? Okay, what we'll do, we'll quickly break for lunch then. And I think post lunch energy, you will all start responding then. So let's quickly break for lunch. I'm going to give you lunch till 2:30 and then we shall continue. Okay, then see you guys post lunch. Thank you. Okay, I hope everybody's back from break. Everybody's charged up now. Will I get answers now? Guys, please do simultaneous question practice because the whole point of learning a concept is to be able to solve questions, is to be able to talk about these numbers. So that is exactly what we are going to do. Okay. Let's quickly have a look at a question. Now, this is something which will help you quickly revise upon your ratios just in case you've not, solved these questions wherein you need to calculate basic ratios. So this is a very quick revision question, you can say. So what is the current year earnings per share you need to calculate? The growth in the dividend per ordinary share is what you need to calculate, and then the total shareholder return. So 3 parts of activity 2 is what I want you to do. I'm opening up, quickly note down. I'm sure that, most of you don't have the books as of now. So note down the requirements. Current year, earning per share, growth in the dividend per ordinary share, and then the total shareholder return. These are the 3 requirements that you have to tell me. And here are the figures for you. Very quickly, guys, pour in your answers for all 3 parts of the question, please. And I want everybody to answer. Remember, this is a revision question, and this will just enhance your confidence that, yes, I know the basic concepts and I can do them. Sure. Have a look at the requirements again. Note down the requirements, please, so that I can show you the figures. So current year earning per ordinary share is what you have to calculate. Growth in the dividend per ordinary share, and then the total shareholder return, TSR. Okay, of the current year. Quickly, I hope you've all noted that down. And I can show you the figures now. Done, guys? Quickly start pouring in your answers. 3 parts of the requirement. You have the figures on you. So current year earnings per share. Growth in the dividend per ordinary share. And the TSR for the current year. I'm waiting for your answers to kick in. Come on, guys, quickly start pouring in your answers. So what is it in the first part? You have to calculate your current year earning per ordinary share. So remember, you've been given profit after interest and tax, current year 14508, but you have to take it after giving away your preference dividend. So minus 200 in that. So that makes it equals to 14308. So that's earnings attributable to equity shareholders, which is equals to how much? 14508 minus 200. And number of equity shares. How many number of equity shares do you have? This really, everybody in the class should have given me the answer. It's a very, very simple question. Number of ordinary shares is 100,000. And so my current year EPS, remember, if you are not getting into the habit of solving questions yourself from day one itself, it will become more and more difficult for you. So that is equals to 14 cents is what is the current year earning per share. 14. And that is equals to how much? This is everything is in millions. So, okay. So if I just multiply this, it comes out to be equals to how much? It's equals to 14.31 cents. Okay with everyone? I hope everybody agrees upon this. Okay, so I've only got Rajveer's answer. What about others? Let's have a look at the second question then. Growth in the dividend per ordinary share. So dividend has increased from 7986 to 8585. Number of shares have remained the same. So what is the growth in the dividend? Obviously, you can see that there is an increase of, so dividend increase, dividend current year. I'm just writing down everything so that it becomes easy for you to understand. 8585. And then dividend. Last year, let's just go back to this. is 7986. So what is the increase? And percentage increase. So always your base divide by your starting. So that comes out to be 7.5%. Guys, where are your answers? I've only got Rajveer's answer on me, which is 7.5. So which is correct, Rajveer? Well done. What about others? Why everybody is not, pouring in their answers? Even if it's wrong at this point of time, don't worry. It's all fine. Because what it will help you in understanding, okay, this is what I did wrong and this is how I should have done it. That's why I'm giving you time to do this yourself as well, isn't it? Otherwise, I can just show you the question and start solving. What is the total shareholder return in the current year? So total shareholder return. So you have to tell the ordinary share price at the end of the year. So P0 is 4.7. P1 is 5.16. Latest dividend. So dividend is how much? So dividend paid is 8585 is the latest dividend that has been paid. 8585. So obviously we are talking about here in terms of millions. So this is actually how much? In millions it comes out to be, if I just 100,000 shares and have been paid dividend per share is 8585. So that comes out to be 8.6. If I can just, take it as a round off, isn't it? So just quickly do this. And this becomes 8.60 is the amount of dividend paid. And this share price, just put it in terms of cents. So 470 and this becomes 516. And can you just solve this for me then? So your total shareholder return is your present price minus your opening plus your latest dividend paid per share divided by the number of, divided by your base price, which is 470, which comes out to be 11.62 or 11.6% is what we can put it down as in terms of 1 decimal place, isn't it? Is everybody okay with it? Are you all able to calculate this? 11.6. Well done, Rajveer. Since I've only got his answers, I really don't know what the others were able to do or not. Quickly ask if you have any doubts here. We're just putting down everything in terms of dividend per share in cents and the share price in cents, just to make it uniform for our calculation. Right? Is this okay with everyone? Ask if you have any doubts. Guys, I'm waiting. Do you have any doubts or is this okay? Am I good to go ahead? $8.6 dividend. So the latest dividend given here already in the question is, let me show you, let me open up the book, 8585. So this is current year in millions, the dividend is already given. So this is dividend per share would be how much? Divided by the number of ordinary shares in millions is already given to you. Right? Is that okay? So we're just calculating in terms of cents. So bring down everything in terms of actual cents. So 470 cents, 516 cents, and similarly we're doing it at 8.6 cents per share. Right? Any other doubt? Okay, wonderful then. So maximization of shareholder wealth is definitely one of the objectives. And how are we working towards it? Let's quickly have a look at some of the questions. Okay, so this concept of corporate governance, I'll come back to this. I think we have not covered that from my notes as yet, but we'll just cover the requisite questions that we've covered for the topics that we have already done. So this activity 3, we'll come back to it once we have done the concept of corporate governance. What we have done here is the stakeholder analysis also we'll do. We just want you to quickly revise upon your ratios to begin with. So this activity 4 is what we're going to do, and then go back to activity 3 once we have done the requisite question, the topic of it from my notes first. So now you have to review Robertson's performance by calculating the return on capital employed, interest cover, as well as the total shareholder return. So it's a good revision question for you again. Previous year and current year data is given. You have to calculate return on capital employed, interest cover, and TSR, please. Noted down the requirements, everyone. Note down the requirements very, very quickly. What I want you to do is have a look at this question as part of your homework. And then tomorrow, we're going to start off with this question. Is that okay with everyone? Because there's not much for you to do today. That's why I'm leaving this topic for you to do as homework. Tomorrow, we will start with this question and then complete the rest of the chapter and move on to your practice and revision kit as well for more question practice. Would that be okay? So let me just give you a quick homework because there's nothing else that you can do today because you've literally just started off with it. So activity 4 is your homework. Everyone do this. And then we shall start tomorrow with solving this particular question. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, then thank you so much, guys, for the session today. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye. Don't go out till the time you've done your question. I'm opening up the question because I know most of you don't actually have the book on you. So I'm leaving the question open here and I'll scroll down as well so that you know you're able to solve. So this is the entire piece for you. We will start solving it tomorrow, right? So I am still here. You can continue to look at the figures and solve your questions so that tomorrow we can start solving it together.